back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I will be making some more fall decor from using Dollar Tree items. And this time I'm going to make a really cool decor piece using the Jenga blocks that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree, as well as some other items from the Dollar Tree. So stick around and see what I make with all of these Dollar Tree items. So for this project I am using two different wall decor pieces that were from the Dollar Tree. This one here that is a square, it says Friends Gather Here. I actually really like this one on its own, but I'm going to be transforming it. I also have this pumpkin one here that has the two different sized pumpkins. I'm going to be using the center portion of this. I did make another fall decor picture frame with this last year, and I'll link that down below. It just had pictures of my pets, and I sent that to my daughter, so if you'd like to see that, go ahead and check that link out. I'm going to be using some sets of these Jenga blocks that you can pick up there, tacky glue, this harvest metal sign that's from the Dollar Tree. I have two colors of paint here, my favorite colors. It is the Waverly chalk paint in the color of peacock and the color of ivory. I have some burlap from the Dollar Tree. I have lace and ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I think this is a newer ribbon this year. They've had glitter ribbons before, but this is like a satin ribbon, and it has glitter on one side, but it does not come off, and it's more flexible. The other kind that they have is more of like a floral ribbon, if you know what I mean. So I love this new ribbon that they came out with. And then I'm going to be using burlap leaves. That was from the Dollar Tree as well. So let's get this stuff cleared off and get started with our project. So I'm starting by cutting the jute twine hanger off of the square sign, and then I also cut out the center of the other wall hanging, and I'll put that aside. But I'm going to start by painting my pieces. I'm turning them over and painting them on the other side. The square one I'm going to be painting the ivory chalk paint, and I ended up putting, I believe, 2 coats of this on. For the other piece, the pumpkin part, I'm going to paint the peacock color, and I turned it over as well. You actually won't be able to see the front side of it at all. It will be glued down on top of the square piece. This only took 1 coat of this color. The blue seems to, or the turquoise seems to cover really well. And then I took the ivory paint and painted that harvest sign. I love these. I think this is one of my most favorite craft items from the Dollar Tree, are these metal signs. So now I'm just going in with a very light amount of the peacock color and just adding some distress lines onto my square sign. And then I'm going to do the same, but with the ivory on the pumpkin. And of course, this was after the paint initial coats were dry, the blue and the ivory. With this, I'm just using that ivory color to make the little indentions in the pumpkin, and then go along the sides, and then just take some very loose paint and strokes to add the texture to the pumpkin. Now I'm just taking some 150 grit sandpaper and going over my pieces that I've painted.
I like to add a little bit of distressing to the edges of the board, and if there was any paint that I was heavy-handed on, I just went over that a little bit. I did a little bit on the pumpkin, but there wasn't a whole lot on that I needed to do. And now I'm just wiping away the dust from sanding, just with a wet paper towel or damp paper towel. So for this project you will need 22 Jenga blocks, and you want to start by gluing together 6 of them end to end. And I'm using the tacky glue, and this works completely fine. You need to, of course, let it dry. You need 2 rows of 6, and then you need to glue together 2 rows of 5 Jenga blocks. And I will be leaving these on their flat end. If you wish to stick them up against a straight edge, you can do that to help you with getting them lined up correctly. But I ended up getting mine really straight, so that was nice. If any of the glue squeezes through the cracks, just kind of wipe them off so you don't have that buildup of glue. So now I'm going to take my peacock paint and paint each one of those. I just painted one wide edge or wide side, and then 2 of the shorter sides of each one, and then both ends, because one flat side or one wider side is going to be glued on top of that square board. I did end up painting 2 coats of this blue on because it seemed to soak in the paint a little bit more, but it wasn't too bad. Using my tacky glue, I put glue all the way around the edge of this and started to glue down my Jenga blocks. I put the 6-piece Jenga block configuration at the top and the bottom, and then the 5-piece in between on the sides. And then you have to kind of adjust it because it doesn't quite make it to the end on the top and the bottom, but that was fine for me. It still looked fine. It left just a little tiny little white edge along the top and the bottom, but I was totally fine with that. And you just need to let that dry, clean up any glue that's squeezed out. And I wanted to have a stem on that pumpkin, so I put it over the top on the back of the frame part and traced it, and now I'm just using a box cutter to cut it off the top. And at first I painted this with the ivory chalk paint, but realized soon after that it kind of blended in with my background. So I found some brown matte paint that I had in my stash. I believe it was an apple barrel. I mixed a little bit of that in with the ivory and came up with a tan color that I really liked. And I was also able to go in and just add in bits of darker brown on top of it, as you'll see, to add some texture to the stem of the pumpkin. So after that was dry, I went ahead and used my tacky glue and I glued down the pumpkin as well as the stem and kind of centered it in the middle of that board. And then I used the tacky glue as well to glue down the harvest sign. You can use hot glue doing all these pieces, but I found that using the hot glue on the harvest sign wasn't able to get it down quick enough before the hot glue dried, you know, and then it wasn't down very well. Now I'm taking one of those leaves and I cut a portion of the end off. I ended up using wire cutters, but the leaf itself was too big, so I cut off like two of the little, well, the bottom part there, as you'll see. And I tried the scissors, that didn't work. So I had to go grab some wire cutters after I tried bending it. There we go. There's the wire cutters. So now I did use my hot glue on this. So I wanted that leaf to go at the top. And I also, before I glued anything down, I made my bow. I used one piece of the lace and one piece of the turquoise and just made a simple bow. I pulled the loops out so that there were 4 loops exposed. Kind of adjusted it and then cut the length off of the tails. I cut them each at an angle. I laid it out the way I wanted it and then brought in my hot glue and glued the leaf down first and then the bow, and then I used the hot glue to glue the tails out so that it wasn't dangling over the harvest sign, because I wanted that to be able to see that. So I just put a little dab. Here's one final look on how it turned out. I really love the colors and I'm really happy with the way this looks with my other items. I put them on my buffet, and next to that tier tray there that was a Trash to Treasures project, as well as the sweater pumpkins, and then that pumpkin picture frame. If you'd like to see any of those videos, I'll have the links down below for them. I hope you liked this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. I would love for you to go along on this crafty journey with me. I love to do paper crafting, Dollar Tree DIYs, decor DIYs, anything like that. So this is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.